it's supposed to feel.
Hey everyone, let's look at a couple budget-friendly options that are routinely under the $100 mark. The Sony SSCS5 and the ELAC BS41. Are either of them even worth it? The Sony houses a 5-inch mica reinforced woofer, a 1-inch tweeter, and a 3/4-inch super tweeter. Its response numbers are 53 to 50,000, which that 53 might be a stretch, but more on that in a bit. The enclosure looks good for the price, I guess. They added a little bit of extra plastic on the front baffle to liven things up. A few different types of sheens are on there and different materials are used. The cover is a pin type and it works as it should. I don't really have any complaints there. The ELAC comes in a smaller enclosure, only having to contain the 2 drivers. It has a 4-inch polypropylene woofer and a 1-inch soft dome tweeter. Its stated frequency response is 48 to 35,000 kilohertz, with a sensitivity of 84 dB. The enclosure quality is fine for the price. It's the standard vinyl wrap with a nice metal mesh over the tweeter. The cover is a simple design with pins to secure it to the speaker. I also have no complaints here. It would be nice to have the magnet option on these, but at this price range, you're likely not going to see that. The moment you turn these Sonys on, you'll likely think, this is nice. The vocal reproduction is accurate and smooth. And moments later, you might think, this speaker doesn't really have any bass. I actually prefer this output from the woofer over the forced bloated sound though. It's tight and it is present. You're just not going to feel it in your chest by any means. While the low end may leave some disappointment, you will likely enjoy the mid-range and treble these produce. Sony claims clean vocals are due to the somewhat unique combination of a 1-inch tweeter paired with a 3/4-inch super tweeter. This is a bit of a mixed bag. You'll find online that many people they'll say that they like the super tweeter. Some will say that they'd rather have it disconnected. It's going to be a little bit of personal preference here. I found them to play well at low and high volumes, and vocals primarily sounded full and detailed. When you get into the upper spectrum, high and low, you may find you lose some of this refinement. I would personally call this a sub-required speaker. Take some of the lows out with bass management if you can, and just enjoy it for what it does well. I then fired up the ELAC. Keeping with the theme of the Sony, the first thing I notice is the treble sounds a bit dull, and I would say subdued. The next thing I notice is quite the opposite of the Sony. They're producing bass, but it's not really a bass presentation that you might enjoy. I felt as if the bass was a bit boomy and bloated, overpowering the limited treble. These issues were noticed in the low to medium volumes. I turned it up relatively high and the treble did come alive, but the booming was attempting to wash over the rest. I would prefer if the woofer was a bit more subdued and didn't attempt to overreach like this. This isn't a sub-required speaker from the standpoint of no bass, but rather adding a sub to take away its responsibilities in these frequencies and let a pro handle it. The next question is, should you consider these speakers in 2022? I would say yes, certainly for the Sony, and it's a no-brainer when it's under $100, as it often is. I would say the value on the Sony even remains nearing its MSRP, not that you should pay that. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that'll beat it out at around $169 without a great sale or a closeout. The ELAC, I'm a bit torn. At the $68 I paid, it's hard to argue against that it still does offer the budget audiophile experience. It is decent for the price, but I would be hard to convince to pay the full $123 with competitors such as the SSCS5 so close. I think many might consider this a surround speaker option, and I think it would fulfill those types of duties perfectly fine. All right, so this was a pretty quick video today. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to make more content. Thanks. Later.